Okay lads, the All-Ireland Football Final 2022 between Galway and Kerry takes place this Sunday, so what better time to release the final part in the Croke Park series. After the first two videos, Gaffney's of Fairview is number one for me with an 8.6. Massive shout out to the sponsor of this video. Thank you to Manscaped for helping to pay my bills, helping to make it possible for me, this gobshite, to do this job, drinking pints and putting it up on YouTube as a full-time job. What a world we live in, 2022 in a nutshell. I know I usually harp on about the Ultimate Performance Package 4.0, which has the lawnmower, the weed whacker, but Manscaped have loads of other products as well. They've got the plough, which is unreal if you're a clean shaver. Unlike myself, I have to keep the beard or else I'll look about 14. They have a great little accessory kit for your nails. Don't be biting your nails, lads. Use the fucking clippers, you dirty bastard. They've got a few different styles of boxers and many different products that'll help you to look after your cojones downstairs. But I honestly cannot recommend enough the Performance Package 4.0. So go onto the Manscaped website, use the code Pt.3, grab yourself the Ultimate Performance Package 4.0, you'll get 20% off plus free shipping. Enjoy the final part in the Croke Park series, lads. How are you lads? Best pint of Guinness around Croke Park, part 3 of 3, the final part in the series, just in time for the All-Ireland Football Final 2022 between Galway and Kerry. I'm in Drumcondra. I've got 3 pubs to hit. The first is Fagin's, you can see it in the background, quite an iconic pub. Also, this video could be of interest to Shelbourne FC fans because the football club Shells, Go On Shells, is right down the road. We've got the Millmount House back there. Wasn't quite recommended enough, but we've got Fagin's, Kennedy's and McGrath's, 3 highly recommended pubs, and that will do this series. Then you will know where is the best pint around Croke Park. Right lads, hope you can see me alright. It's a bit of a weird light situation, but sure, listen, pint is still settling. Was given to me the second it was settled by the young lad, and then he brought it over to me, which is always nice. You feel like you're getting the 5-star treatment. He also said, I've always wanted to pour a pint for you. So that puts kind of awkward pressure on me, score-wise, but I cannot let that affect the decision. Pint looks good, the only problem is the glass could be a little bit cleaner. I can never tell whether, I honestly think that's just wet. I don't think it's grease. I think it's when the pint sits on top of the other pint glass and then the top of it doesn't dry right, because you can just see the few little, it's right around in the same way. And then the head could be a millimetre bigger, but good dome to be fair. Good bit of Romeo and Julieta. Sláinte lads. Hold on, before I take a sip. Here's to the Guru Gulp. The mic is back and back to stay. To be fair, initial thought is, I've said before, sometimes you get those pints that look incredible taste average. This could be the opposite. I'm not saying this looked bad, but I didn't have that much hope when I was looking at it, because like the bit of wet on the glass and stuff. But fuck, that's tasty. It's weird. It's not even like, it's not, the taste isn't coming from the creaminess. It's literally just delicious. Like really, really tasty. I don't know if that's freshness or what, but very impressive first scope. Fucking burping already, lads. Yeah. The drinkability factor is very high. And look, you could always argue it's my first, I'm gonna go a little bit closer with this thing. You could always argue it's my first one of the day. So it's going to be delicious, but I really think I'm doing it long enough now to know that it doesn't matter if it's the first, or that's why I don't do really more than 4 in the videos anymore. It doesn't really matter if it's the first or the 4th. I think I can still tell the difference between a good or a bad pint. It's not just because it's my first pint that it's lovely. That's genuinely good. This pub, really cool pub. I've actually never been in here. I've driven past it loads of times, like when you'd be going into Croke or the Drumcondra way. I think a lot of people, I just always remember hearing about fucking Bertie Ahern drinking in here back in the day, back in the boom. But yeah, that's all I really associate with this place with, and I'm sure people probably would come here before like a Shells game as well. So, but it's not the best pint of Guinness around Shelbourne Park, is it? It's Croker, but it doesn't matter. Pint's lovely. And now I'm feeling like I shouldn't have said that thing about the young lad saying I've always wanted to pour a pint for you, because then people will say, oh, he's just giving a better score because that's what the young lad said. If you're watching the channel long enough, lads, you know that realistically I don't give a bollocks what the young lad said when it comes down to rating this pint. Obviously it's nice for a young lad to say, I've always wanted to pour you a pint. Gent, pleasure, thank you very much. I'll go home and I'll smile about that later, but for now it's business, and that does not affect the score at all. Fucking lovely pint. Honestly, probably the nicest bad looking pint I've ever had. Extremely tasty, extremely fresh. Stick is not up to a whole lot. Very, very white, creamy head. No bubbles, like that's such a good sign. Very healthy looking head on that. Staying thick to the end. It's proper white, there's not going yellow at all. I think that's such a clear sign it's a proper fresh pint. Can you even see me? Pure swamped, big creamy finish. Yeah lads, that was fucking lovely to be fair. Didn't have great hopes when I saw it, but if I had a drink that with a blindfold on, I would have had very few complaints. Really tasty pint. Yeah, like I can't go off of what it looked like. Looks alone, I'd probably said 7 out of 10. Taste wise, honestly lovely. I can't give it any less than an 8.2. Just really, yeah. And if it looked a bit better, I could have gone probably 8.3, 8.4. But 8.2 still a savage score. Alright, pub 2, literally 50 feet away from Fagin's, Kennedy's. Lads, let that settle another 30 seconds or so. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of Domio and Juliet on that one. But yeah, head is definitely a bit small. It was one of those situations where I didn't actually say it to the barman what I was doing, and I don't think he knew who I was, but I'm hearing now in the background someone saying something guru and someone else saying it'd be interesting to see what he says. So I think there is murmurs around me in the pub, and this pub, by the way, is absolutely huge. I could have gone out to the front where it was very quiet, but I said I'll come around the back where there's a bit of crack, a few lads around. So yeah, pint is settled now. Again, I would say that head is a little bit small, which would imply it won't be creamy, but you never know. Don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a pint by its head. Shut the fuck up and drink it. Sláinte it. So I wonder, is it a stage now where maybe someone has relayed the information to the barman saying, you know, that fella over there is a fucking Egypt, but he's probably going to be reviewing this pint. So, and I wonder, is the barman going, bollocks, should have poured it better. But again, it's just one of those things. I want to get the same pint that anyone else is going to get. I don't want to get special treatment. And that's the age-old debate with this whole Guinness Guru thing. I never know, should I just go in and not say anything? Now these days, like saying Fagin, there's a young lad, he knew straight away. Obviously, I can't hide the fact that it's me. Someone else before was like, you should send someone else in, order the pint, and then you go in and drink it. But that's batshit crazy, let's be honest. But anyway, first impressions, it's alright. But yeah, just lacking that bit of creaminess because the head isn't the biggest, you know what I mean? Taste-wise, it's good. Perfect old-style glass, of course, good temperature. Yeah, it was clean, it tastes fresh, but it's just lacking a bit of cream because that head was just very small. Every man deserves more head than that, if you know what I'm saying. Head equals blowjobs. Filth. Filthy jokes. Interesting, again, a good one. Tasty, fresh. Not a whole lot to complain about. Could have done with a bit more domage for my Instagram picture, but again, it's not the be all and end all. It is about the taste. Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with it. It's getting better as it goes on. But yeah, definitely Kennedy's. This is an absolute massive pub. I presume absolutely packed on a match day, and it will be packed this Sunday for the All-Ireland final between Kerry and Galway. Who's going to win, lads? Write your answers in the comments because I'm hoping to put this video up on Friday before the match on Sunday. I know absolutely fuck all about Ga. I presume Galway are the underdog. That would make sense in my brain, but they might not be. I'm going to be rooting for Galway because even though Meath, my beloved Meath, the Royal County Meath and Galway have had their differences over the years, especially through the 90s and 2000s, it would be great to see someone like Galway win the All-Ireland. Kerry have had enough to fuck. And to mind them dubs, just don't say that too loud in here though. There's literally a flag on the wall. It says something like Irish. I'm gonna fuck this up now, but it's like Irish by birth, Dublin by the grace of God. Fuck off. Oh beautiful Meath, you're all that I need. Your rivers they flow in I da 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 da. Better give this a score. Good juice. Possibly a degree or two too cold for my liking, but that's always, unless you're bringing a fucking thermometer, that's kind of impossible to tell. It does feel quite cold in my hand. A good pint, hasn't blown me away, but it's fresh, it's tasty, just doesn't have that thick, rich, creamy Guinness feel to it, which is a shame. Doesn't quite make the 8th club, 7.8, very respectable, very solid pint. Would easily sit here and drink loads all day, but for me, yeah, Fagin's was definitely a little bit better. So a respectable, in my opinion, 7.8 for Kennedy's. Just needed a bit more domage and a bit of a thicker head. A creamier pint would have gotten you into the 8s, lads. I'm just going in, yeah?
Just going
Have
in.
you been in?
I usually win. I walk down Temple Street and I usually win once a month on a Friday after work.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Not bad, yeah.
Alright.
Not bad.
Sound. Fagin's and then Kennedy's, and this is my last spot.
Oh, is it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Enjoying it anyway. Right.
Yeah. Sound, pal.
I love watching you.
Thank you very much. Right, fucking hell. All over the shop here. I go this way. Right, shout out to that fella on his bike. Just as I started filming. I'm at McGrath's. I was gonna say looks like a proper old school Dublin pub, and I fucking love that. It looks like pure no nonsense. Look at this place. Fucking just looks like give me a fucking pint and shut up and drink it. Brilliant. Good man yourself. Live.
Happening outside, you know, all that sort of thing. Well, back to work there. Yeah, as well, yeah.
Consumption by 15% to counter the threat. We have to verify.
Right, lads, as predicted, this place is old school and I love it. You know how you know it's old school? You've got the fucking 6-1 news on in the background. Old school Dublin, they don't fuck around. Yeah, pint. It's just a shame the barmaid, barwoman, I never know what to call a female bartender, didn't put just another drop of domage on it. You saw the unbelievable red Guinness tankard. No, what's it called? Just the red Guinness old school 80s tap. Unbelievable. All things Guinness. My good buddy on Instagram, if he's watching this video, he'll be creaming himself. He loves those taps. Literally looks like the perfect pint. Feels it's definitely a lot warmer than Kennedy's, which would suggest to me that possibly the keg is right under the tap, but we don't know. But yeah, just a shame she didn't put another millimetre of damage on that, because it looks great. Very clean, perfectly clean glass. But yeah, I think it's still going to be a cracking pint. Sláinte, lads. The final ever pint in the Croke Park series. I think we've hit, is it 9 or 10 pubs? So sláinte to the final one. Thank you for watching this 3-part series of pure shade. I don't know what I think of that. To be honest, usually you kind of know right away. This is gonna be a minefield, a back and forth game in my brain about what do I actually think of this pint. I've no idea. I'm getting like a bit of a roasted flavour from it. It's cold, but it's definitely not as cold as say Kennedy's was, but I think I prefer the temperature here. There's a couple of like big bubbles in the head, which don't make it look that great, but yeah, I don't know, it's good, but you're gonna have to give me time to really decide what I think of this pint. Bless me, dirty bastard. It's funny, I would have driven past this pub a million times going to Croke, but I never realised there was a pub here. It's funny. I remember there used to be like, was there a Pizza Hut around this sort of area or something? Even back in the day when I was selling hot dogs in Croke, hot dogs and ice creams, I would have got off the 103 bus from Ashburn down at Whitworth Road, walked up past here, down Clonliffe Road, but I don't ever remember seeing this pub. It's funny. Proper old school boozer. I'd say they take no fucking shit on match days. So if you're coming here on Sunday, lads, come. There's loads of space out the back and in the front and everywhere. It's a big massive open pub. It's really great, high ceiling and stuff like that. But I'd say they tell you to fuck off if you're acting the bollocks, but sure, it should be like that anywhere. Anyway, the pint. I'm gonna hover the camera, something I rarely do, but I'm gonna hover the camera over the top. Can I even see what I'm doing here? You see, like, there's kind of big bubbles in it. And I call myself a Guinness guru, but I don't really know what I'm talking about because I don't really know what causes those bubbles. And whenever I do have a question, I just ask all things Guinness on Instagram. So I might go and ask him when I'm editing the video, and if I get an answer, I'll put it up right here. Very awkward if I don't get an answer. But anyway, yeah, strange. I don't know, they're just kind of off-putting, like they're very big bubbles. Usually you don't mind a couple of little micro bubbles. They're big ass boys. But anyway, it's a good pint. I don't know, I just was expecting really, really big things. And then when I saw the red Guinness old school tap, I thought, here we go. I'm in for an absolute 8.5, 8.6, but it's not going to be that. Yeah, even taste-wise, like, it's fine, but yeah, I don't know. That is definitely not knocking my socks off. And staring at those bubbles is just killing me. Interesting. It's just the age-old thing, lads. I can only judge the pints that I get on the day. Even in the last pub, Kennedy's, when I was leaving, there was a fella. He came up to me. He was like, I think he was a bit of a local there, Graham something. Shout out Graham if you're watching. Came over in his slick leather jacket, and he was like, because remember I said I didn't tell the barman, because it's just one of those situations. But yeah, then he was saying, oh, the word has spread into the bar, and I think the owner had rocked up and stuff like that, but yeah. And then the conversation evolved into sort of, I was saying like, it's like when you play a sport and they say you're only as good as your slowest man. You're only in a bar, you're only as good as your worst Guinness pint pourer. So whatever your worst man or woman behind the bar can serve, that's unfortunately the standard for the whole pub. The standard for the whole pub isn't set by the lad who's been pouring pints for 30 years. It's set by the fucking 20-year-old young fella who's in college, who just has a weekend job and it's just happened, and it might be his first day. You need to, I personally, this is just my opinion, but all bar people, all bar owners who are hiring young people who might not be that familiar with Guinness and the culture of Guinness, especially in a pub in Ireland, you need to take the time to train them up. You can't just show them once or twice how to pour a pint of Guinness. You probably need to talk to them, sit down with them, tell them how important the Guinness culture is in this country and how pissed off people will be if you don't give them a proper pint, especially in a pub where they're used to getting a proper pint. Anyway, rant over, let's rate this pint. Yeah, unfortunately I was coming in expecting to be blown away. Best I can do on that is probably, you can even see the bubbles, like, best I can do on that is probably like especially the fact that I thought it was going to be in the mid-8s, I can give it maybe a 7.5. Nice pint, I'd sit here and drink a few more, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. Yeah, nice pint, but didn't live up to the hype that I had heard about. And so lads, that concludes the 3-part series, Best Pint of Guinness around Croke Park. I think it was Gaffney's in Fairview's. I think it was Gaffney's in Fairview, which came out on top. Another one I really, really loved, just in terms of an actual pub, was Cusack's. Then another highlight has to be the Hideout House in the middle of literally a little apartment block. So yeah, it's been a great series. Thanks for watching, lads. Best of luck to everyone coming up from Kerry and Galiev for the final on Sunday. Up they ga, up pints, up riding. See you in the next one.